it absolutely, positively has to be there overnight. Whose slogan is that? Now, let me ask you a question. Who here can remember 1980, FedEx was not even a blip on the radar? For us older guys, 1980 is not that long ago. And I can tell you, in 1980, it never had to be there overnight. But when it absolutely, positively had to be there overnight, 4 years later, what company did you use? And then I can tell you, by 1984, when I was in advertising sales in New York City, you couldn't survive without FedEx. I don't know how people made deadlines before they came along. I don't know how we got our advertising materials in time. So these two ultimate strategic positions shifted the buying criteria and changed the way we think about how we buy. When I started working with them, they had not had more than a 10% increase in 100 years. And you probably say, well, 100 years. Well, legitimately, the owner's father's father's father in 1889 started this carpet cleaning company, and he grew over 100 years to be one of the largest carpet cleaning companies in the country. The lowest sales rep was doing $13,000, and the average was doing $35,000. Today, the lowest producer, $49,000. The highest producer, $106,000. So, thank you. Yeah, he was happy. Now, here's the point. I didn't do 10 things. How many things did I do? 2. 1, gold service. 2, offer the 6 other services. 2 things. But it took 6 months of hard labor to get that to work in the business. So pig-headed discipline and determination, that is the key. So how perfect do you want your company to be? And if you're a one-person army, which we see we've got a lot of you guys, can you answer these questions for yourself? Have you refined your business to this level? So I want you to yell out true or false. If you're one-person army, then have you actually systematized your business to where you've got the answers for all of these questions? And if you have employees, and those of you who have to ramp up really big, really fast, you know, the 2 people who have that challenge, you need to answer true or false to these questions. All employees perform each aspect of the job with a high degree of excellence and consistency. True or false? Say it out loud. Okay. Results are somewhat predictable because training and skills are consistent. Okay. Each supervisor would give a similar answer for each question or problem. Okay, not true if you don't have supervisors, but each employee would give a similar answer for each question or problem. That one is usually really false in most organizations. Client treatment is similar no matter who the client deals with. Okay, if you're a one-person army, client treatment is similar no matter what mood you're in. Okay, seriously, because that makes a huge difference. Okay, all staff members know what is considered good performance or attitude. Okay, great. So this is the first of the 12 competencies. It's what I call the 3 Ps. Studies show that most successful businesses are constantly focused. This is how you get to be Fortune 500. He mentioned that I've had 50. It's actually now 60. The bio hasn't been updated in a couple years. But I've had 60 of the Fortune 500, the biggest companies in the world, with a couple phone calls a month. This is called the Dream 100 concept. Anybody ever hear this concept? I've pioneered this all over the world. And now I see everybody else teaching it. And I'm like, I just want to be clear. I've been teaching this for 20 years. This is mine. And it's been doubling sales for me for 20 years. So here's the basic idea. There's always a smaller number of ideal buyers versus all buyers. Okay, so ideal is they can afford it. They're dream clients. Like for me, a dream client was American Express or Wells Fargo. I decided one day that I would get Wells Fargo as a client. And then I hit them so many times, so often, I decided one day I would get Men's Warehouse. I got an idea that I thought could double the sales of Men's Warehouse. So I hit George Zimmer so many times. The guy called me up to tell me to leave him alone. And I closed him for an appointment. And I got him as a client. Okay? So I always say there's nobody you can't get to if you're committed. And if there's 100, I say it's 100, but when I took over the magazine for Charlie Munger, there were 167, well, there were 2,200 advertisers in the database. 167 of them bought 95% of the ads. And yet the previous advertising director was just chasing all the advertisers with no prioritization. We kept doing that, but we took the 167, and to those guys, I launched a campaign where we hit them every 2 weeks with an offer. Every 2 weeks, a free offer to learn this, a free offer to learn that, every 2 weeks without fail. And the first month, I made no sales. Why? Big companies, hard to sell to. Second month, no sales. Third month, no sales. Fourth month, no sales. Management starts looking around at each other like, you sure this guy was top producer in his last job? Fifth month, 1 sale. Sixth month, 28 of the biggest companies in our industry. One company came in. Anybody sell advertising? Right? You know what it's like to sell a full-page advertiser? It's nice, right? How'd you like to sell 104 four-color spreads to one advertiser? Xerox came into our magazine with 104 four-color spreads. It was not just the biggest sale in the history of our magazine. It was the biggest sale in the history of the industry. And I was in their face, in their case, in their space, in their place every single week for 6 months. There's nobody you guys can't get to, not one dream client or dream affiliate you can't get if you're committed. Now, that's B2B. But if you're B2C, you need those affiliates. How many people here would be great to have Harv as an affiliate? Okay? So now should I stick you all in Harv or no? No, I'll get in trouble for that one. But I'm just telling you, there's nobody you can't get to if you're committed. Okay? There's not one person in the world.